Can a single glance say it all? In the world of celebrities, yes. And this time, it was between Demet Özdemir and Sarah Bluma. It all happened during a gala night. Lights, cameras, perfect dresses, and attention no one expected. There was no statement, no scandal, just a gesture, a fleeting glance. Enough for Demet to leave the event with a quiet certainty, she's jealous of me. She didn't shout it, she whispered it, with the calm of someone who no longer needs explanations. Demet wasn't reacting to what Sarah said, but to the way she looked at her. A glance meant to seem harmless, but that betrayed a feeling too hard to conceal. Insecurity. The greeting was polite, the smile forced, but something else lingered. Coldness, distance, a space that was no longer neutral. Demet didn't compete. She simply observed. I no longer compete with anyone, she said gently, but it seems like she still does. And though those words were never spoken in front of cameras, they reached the ears they were meant to. Sarah replied publicly, I'm not jealous. I only expect respect. But her eyes said something else. Demet saw it. She knows that language. She's lived it ever since she stepped into Can Yaman's public life. And what she saw that night wasn't a passing discomfort. It was an internal battle, a struggle between the present and the lingering shadow of the past. Both women are strong, successful, independent. They don't need validation. But when a past is shared with the same man, the emotional ground becomes complicated, not out of rivalry, but because of memory, of wounds, of what once was. Demet wasn't trying to hurt. She didn't provoke. She simply told what she saw, and she saw enough. The gala went on. Cameras caught smiles. But backstage, what truly lingered was that moment, that look, and social media didn't miss it. Did you see the way they looked at each other? Who looked away first? Did you notice Demet's calmness? The comments came flooding in, because the public understood what no one dared to say. It wasn't a confrontation. It was something subtler, more real. Can Yaman didn't speak about it, but those close to him said his silence was uneasy, because he knows Demet and Sarah represent two very different, yet equally intense chapters of his life. And even if those chapters don't overlap, they are not easily forgotten. Since that night, Sarah changed. She became more present, more rigid. Not with Can, but with the world around her, as if needing to reclaim her space, as if something inside her had shifted. Because sometimes you don't have to lose something to feel it slipping away. Demet, on the other hand, kept moving forward, with the serenity of someone who has nothing left to prove. Her stability is more unsettling than any statement, because the past doesn't hurt because of what it was. It hurts because of how well it endures, even when you're no longer in it. I already lived that chapter with him, and if someone needs to mention me to feel secure, that's no longer my concern. She didn't say it in front of the cameras, but the message got through, like a soft scent that lingers without needing to be seen. Sarah has not been defeated, but she is on guard, and it shows. Because when insecurity doesn't come from the outside, but grows from within, shadows are not fought with words. And in the smallest gestures, those who know Can feel the tension. Not because there's a choice to make, but because he stands between two stories, one that has ended and one that still needs to be defined.
Demet does not want to return. She never hinted at it, but she won't allow herself to be erased either, because her story is not a threat. It's a fact, one that, however uncomfortable, still exists, like a chapter that cannot be torn from the book. Sarah's gaze that night was just a page, but Demet has already read the whole story. And the public has too, because in the world of fame, what isn't said is what's most deeply felt. Demet Özdemir is no ordinary woman. She unsettles people with her clarity, with her silent strength, with the way she makes choices without asking for permission. Yet it seems she's never been judged for who she truly is, only for what others expected her to be. The shadow of her past with Can Yaman still haunts her, as if she didn't have the right to move on, to make mistakes, to rebuild herself away from a love the world idealized. Many still wait for signs that she feels something for Can. Others blame her for everything that went wrong. They say she didn't appreciate him, that she left for another man, that she toyed with the heart of the most beloved actor of the moment. But how many ever stopped to ask how she felt? What crossed her mind when people labeled her a traitor just for trying to live again? Where is the empathy for a woman who, like anyone else, just wants to be happy? There are comments that wound, like those that say she was never on Demet's level, or those that paint her against other women as if competing for Can's heart. Why such cruelty towards someone whose only crime was to love, live, and then move on? Why, because she's a woman, should she not have the right to end chapters, to make mistakes, and to free herself from what no longer served her? Demet has never needed scandals to be seen. Her talent speaks for her. Her deep gaze, her emotional presence, her dedication to every role. She is not an empty image, but for some, that's not enough. Her worth still gets measured by her distance or closeness to Can, as if her life only has meaning when orbiting around him. And what's worse, she's accused of being cold for not playing into drama, for not answering every rumor with tears or rage. But that's not coldness. That's control. That's maturity. That's dignity. While others perform for the cameras, she protects herself. And in a world where everything is exposed, that's almost an act of rebellion. Many don't understand why Demet chose distance, why she got married, why she ended that marriage, why she didn't return to Can. But maybe not everything is meant to be understood. Maybe her only obligation was to herself, to her healing, to her own truth. Sometimes there are no great betrayals or hidden dramas. Sometimes two people simply stop meeting in the same place, and that doesn't make anyone the villain. Demet never hid. She stood tall. She faced the media pressure, the uncontrolled fan opinions, the cruel judgments from those who believe her life is an endless soap opera. She endured the scrutiny where every new step is interpreted as a provocation or a cryptic answer. And yet, she keeps going. She works. She creates. She loves quietly. She lives on her own terms. I admire her. Because in a world that wants to shape her according to the nostalgia of a past romance, she's chosen to be the present, not a memory. She's chosen to be herself, with her lights and shadows, with her full story, not just the part people want to remember. And that, though many don't see it, is raw courage. Will she get back with Can? I don't know. And honestly, it doesn't matter anymore. Because the real triumph of Demet Özdemir is not that she loved a man like Can Yaman. It's that she learned to love herself enough to walk her own path,